those girls out there looking for a 6 metres 75. That's what they're after in the women's long jump. You can see there the start list: Na Anang, Kelsey Berryman, Grace Brennan, Talia Clark, Elizabeth Heading, Sachi Kiyama, Jessica Penny, Maria Ruanui, and Andrea Thompson. So we saw this track here last year. Brooke Stratton and Chelsea Yench both get their qualifiers. It was 670 for Olympics. It's actually a little bit harder now. So we might be seeing some personal bests if they want to reach that 675. But these are the conditions to do it. Penny's got a 660 to her name as a PB and a season best of 637. So she's capable, but we'll need to see some big jumps. We're moving close to the board there. We'll see.
Just over.
Just a toenail over. Denny, when was the last time you did long jump?
Oh, mate, I really don't know. Quite a fair time ago. I reckon maybe grade 6. Wasn't too flash high.
That was the start and the end of the long jump career, or?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was probably around about that, yeah.
You don't see yourself lining up for maybe a decaf one day? I suppose there's no hammer in the decaf. It's only the discus that you get the points in.
Mate, I'd really like to. It'd be quite a thing to experience. A lot of respect to the decathletes. It's such an incredible thing to do.
How would you see yourself going over the hurdles? What's the flexibility like?
Yeah, not too smoothly.
If you could verse another thrower in a decaf, who do you think would probably put up the best fight?
Oh, I'm not sure. In Australia, I'd love to go up against Rucky. Benny's very quick. Benny Harradine is quite quick over the 100. Not sure what sort of time, but I've heard quite quick, especially over the 30. So, definitely be something to experience.
I've had a rumour that he went 10-9 hand times.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I didn't want to stuff that up, but that's what I've heard as well. So that's very fast for 120 kilos.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there's probably a lot long to slow down that much weight.
Yeah, well, like one of the most impressive things I've heard, Lawrence Okoye, who was a Great Britain discus thrower, and obviously he's gone to NFL now. He used to play rugby, and he was 125 kilos, all muscle, and was rocket fast. He apparently went like 10-8 for the 100, 120, 125, and he was a winger for rugby. And he's 6'8".
6'8", 125 kilo winger. I feel sorry for whoever was lining up. Benny, what's your long jump career like?
Oh, my long jump career is terrible. I'm definitely not a long jumper. Just listening to you guys going about these big throwers in the 100 metres. I was actually there and witnessed Ben Harradine do that 100 in Delhi. It was after competition. We went back out to the warm-up track that was in the village, and all the throwers got together and actually had a 100-metre race. So it was actually quite entertaining. We had a little bit of a series of races. We had a few different athletes cut across into different events. We even had head coaches go against head team doctors. So it was quite an interesting spectacle to watch, I tell you.
Oh, did you get in there, Benny? Did you have a race?
No, I didn't have a race. They wouldn't let any of the runners take part. So
bit unfair advantage would it be?
Well, you look at Bolt in Rio throwing his jav.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you watch the I Am Bolt movie, he does talk about, he reckons he could have thrown a lot further, and the bet did start a long time before, and obviously, and it was at 1 a.m. in the stadium in Rio, he pulls a jab and has a throw.
Just occasionally.
I suppose when your name's Usain Bolt, you can kind of get away with.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier when you've got that backing.
Yeah, it does help a little bit. We're just seeing a couple of the girls in the long jump, a few fouls in a row at the moment, so they are struggling with those run-ups and that wind. But hopefully we can get those conditions perfect.
Apparently it's supposed to get pretty heavy wind later on today, like 30k an hour. So
30k an hour, that's what you want for your discus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty perfect for a 2 kilo, yeah. But yeah, I was talking to Mike Barber before, coach of Kelsey, and yeah, they're hoping for a little bit less for the men's jab. Obviously, men and women jab together. So might see some big throws though, because Reece Steen's looking consistent, and Luke Cairns coming out again. I think with the 79 from last year. I'm trying to think who else is on that list.
For our men's and women's combined discus.
Jav.
Jav, yeah. So Hamish is having a throw.
Oh, yeah. That'll be good.
And
he's
the
in good
Kiwi,
form.
Langton Burnell, who's thrown 80 for the first time. So
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking quite nice. He's been very consistent over the last few years too. And nice, such a nice delivery. It's so smooth. One of the nicer techniques I've seen around.
So we've already seen Hamish get his... he loves throwing in Hobart, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves it. 83.02, was it? Yeah, he's got more there too, which is the crazy part, because I heard a lot of big things in training, like obviously last year before Rio and all that sort of thing. But I think, if the wind stays nice, we could see some massive throws and jab today. So,
and I think they will be throwing from the start end. I'm not sure what my directions.
I think they will. Yeah, they will. For men's jab, they like a tail to keep keep the tail of the jab down and let it float a little bit longer. So.
And Kelsey is the local, so she might be able to get maybe a bit of influence on the direction.
It'd be nice to see Kelsey get her qual done, because she has been training well, and she said she feels pretty good. So hopefully she can put a nice throw together.
Well, she does. She's already thrown a 59.2 this year, and 61.40 is the qualifier, and definitely think she's got it in her. It'd be nice to get that one out early, and she'd be the number one at the moment.
Yeah, I had a very tough year last year with injuries, and just a bit frustrating year for her, like she said. So it'd be nice to see her come back from that and really pump a big throw out.
Next up on the runway, that is Maria Ruanui, sorry. It's PB of 6:35. She's got a 5:91 so far this year, so I'm sure she wants to get up over that 6-metre barrier for the season. I think the New Zealand champs are next weekend, and we'll probably see a lot of them come back over here for the Australian champs. Yeah,
because usually it runs quite close together. Like last year, a lot of them couldn't make it back because of the time clashes and that. So,
yeah. Unfortunately, another foul there in this women's long jump. But it is only early rounds.
Got a bit of an update for you down here at the long jump. Seems to be these girls can't get on the board today. I'd almost put it down to this wind. I've been looking over the wind gauge. They've been testing it a couple of times on the straight track, and it's blustering up. It's ranging anywhere from between a 1.0 up to 3s. Every now and then it's had this couple little gusts of wind. So every time these runners come down here, if they cop a 1, a 2 or 3, they're having to readjust their run-ups to try and account for that, and it's sort of mixing them around a little bit. We've had a lot of fouls. So hopefully this wind starts to turn to a little bit more consistent, and these girls might be able to get on the board.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot lighter when the girls were getting their run-ups and at the earlier stages of their warm-up. So that's probably why we're seeing a couple of fouls in these first rounds. But luckily, all the girls, they'll get 6 attempts. See Sachi Kiyama, 5.93 so far this year with a 6.18 PB. I'm sure she wants to get back over that 6-metre barrier again this season before heading to nationals.
Clean jump there. The crowd likes it. Got the claps. So I think the crowd are happy to see someone get on the board finally. So hopefully this should be a good one. But this is Sachi Kayama. So she's from New Zealand. She's actually hasn't had a foul jump yet. So she's been able to navigate these conditions quite well.
Over in the hammer, we've got Lara in next, round 4, I think it is. So, geez, it'll take a bit of time to get through the round.
Well, like you said, changing that cage around.
Yeah,
and then straight back.
Yeah.
Talia Clark now out there on the runway. She's been spending a bit of time over in Arizona at Altus. She's got a 6.04 indoors so far this season, PB of 6.14. Big jump, but I think we might see the red flag. Yep.